Let's stand and have our invocation, and then we'll ask Francis, you would lead us in the pledge of allegiance. Let's pray. Lord, I thank you for this day. Thank you for each one that's here today. Lord, just thank you for the safety you give us. Lord, just be with those who are less fortunate than us tonight. Lord, just thank you for the city and the opportunity to serve our citizens. Just ask you to forgive us where we fail. Bless this meeting and all the things that we decide tonight. In Christ's name I pray.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So I want to thank everyone for coming tonight. We got a relatively short agenda and hope that everyone has made it okay through the storms we may give. Tim Ryer, Chief Victory, had a chance to tell us a little bit about the storm damage, but I think everything's pretty smooth at this time. But the first thing we have right now is a recommendation to approve the minutes from the last meeting. If y'all had a chance to look at those, is there a motion to approve those minutes?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, Tammy. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Francis. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
First on the agenda tonight is recommendation to accept the low bid of $166,465 from Baird Contracting Company for the fractulator replacement at the water treatment plant. This is an ongoing problem we've had for a few months now, and one of the fractulators, there's two in the water plant. One's completely down, the other one is limping along pretty good. What this bid is for is replacing both of those to get us back up going where we need to be. Had several bids on this thing. There was at least 5, I think. And this company was the lowest one. The bids range from $166,465 all the way to $203,000. And we had recommendation from our Heath Reed and engineers just looked over all the bids. This is something that they also have been very aware of. They have draw the specs on it. So we need to award this bid tonight to this company so they can get started as soon as possible. And I know the council's well aware that we can have some discussion on it if you want to before we vote. But I need a motion to accept it first. The low bid of $166,465.
I'll make a motion.
Okay, Tim, is there a second?
I'll second.
Lynn, second?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Mayor, I know this didn't happen in the months that we took over here. Can you explain a little bit about this?
Well, we went and looked at this a couple of times. Matter of fact, I went yesterday. They've been, Tim, what they tried to do, I think, and they've done the best they could, is just repair it. There's one that we saw in Tammy 9, I think Lynn went. That's the one that's completely broke down. Have you seen those, the bays where the water is? Got those big panels that turn, where they have been damaged and it's jerked the pumps around and broke down. That one's completely down. The other one is working, but not working very well. Like I say, this is something that none of us expected to spend $166,000 4 months into our administration, but it should have been fixed a long time ago. It just hadn't been. It's not passing any blame on anybody. It's just things seem to be put off and not tackled at the time, and eventually, we have to face it. We have to fix it.
Was this in our budget?
It was not. Now, we did put in the budget, we was aware of there's a major water line broke that's over the water there going to industrial park.
You gotta fix
We
that
have
later.
put that in the budget, but this was not in the budget. We have got money to pay for it. The fortunate thing is the city's in good financial shape. As far as the general fund goes, now the water department don't have that kind of money, but the general fund, we do have the money to pay for it.
These are paddles that stir the water
They
around.
do. They stir the water in the big bays. It's pretty wide and pretty deep. And over time, well, it runs 24/7.
Well, it's something that eventually I would think that ADM could come in and,
Oh, they're well aware.
well aware of it, and eventually you know, close down, penalizes thousands per day, so to me, we just don't have any choice. It's got to be done, and like he said, yes, I've seen it, and guys up there,
Can we make sure, Wade, that they, when they do fix them, they can kind of give our guys a refresher course on how to
Yes.
take care of it?
Exactly. You know, I was explaining that to Rodney yesterday and today, that I don't know if routine maintenance would have prevented this or not. It's hard to say now because we don't know.
this is not the original ones, or is it?
It is original percolators, no, pumps that turn those things and the chains may have been worked on before.
Well,
That's the
you
one that
know,
was built when the plant was built 20 years ago.
well, when Tim and you and I served before, and we built that plant, I mean, if it was put in there, well, I guess we've got our money's worth.
Yeah, and I'd like for you to get with Rodney too, and make sure we're keeping a maintenance on that back flushing that down in the river. You know, that's the life of that up there. If we can keep that maintenance up on that thing, if we're letting it drop off, that's where our problems come.
I agree.
Why would there be, I mean, I know you looked into it and you had an estimate going in. What was the deal that made the bid so, for the estimate so much higher?
Well, we at one time thought we might get by with fixing one bay. This is replacing both.
Okay.
So that's, you know, when we originally thought maybe $50,000-$60,000, that was just an estimate. But that was actually fixing one instead of two.
Oh,
So this is fixing two, this will get us back up 100%. So what they're gonna do is the one that's completely broke down and not even being used is gonna be replaced first. Once they get that going, they'll move to the one that we're using now, that's working but not working real well, and replace it.
okay. I thought your estimate was on two of them to replace two. That was just to replace.
At one time, yeah, when we talked about it a few months ago, a couple months ago, it was just one. This
Okay.
is for both.
Okay.
And Ed did send me an email today and would like to see it, and I think it'd be a good idea that you see this and take some photos and do a story and explain. This,
You show it.
this water plant is vital for everyone. We don't have wells anymore, as you know. All the well houses that you see around town are completely not usable. So this new system is something, it's just something we have to do. We don't have a choice. We could fix one, there's no sense in fixing one when the other could go out too, so, you know, that's it. Does anybody else have anything? Okay, all in favor, say aye. Thank you. Number 3, recommendation to open the checking account for First National Bank for Hamilton Avenue Plaza. We talked about this somewhat ago in the work session, and this is something that we can do to help the Aggie Plaza, the folks with the Aggie Plaza, when they're purchasing, making purchases, doing work, and making donations where they have a tax exempt status. My recommendation is to do this, and Scott says we can. And, you know, we've already talked about it. If anybody wants to add anything to it, we can. If you want to wait a couple of weeks, we can do that. Just let me know, and that's what we'll do.
Well, I would like, I asked some questions in the work session, and I would really like to know, what exactly they're expecting if they're under the impression that once we do this, all previous donations can be backed up and included in this. If they're under that impression, I'd sort of like to know that before we do this.
Why can't they run it through the county? Instead of the cities, the county's good.
Scott, you'd have to answer. I don't know if they're a 501c3 or not.
The county could do something like this, but the county doesn't have the flexibility, the county board of education doesn't have the flexibility to do these kind of things like the city would do. But I mean, that could be a possibility for them to go through the board of education, but they usually don't have as much flexibility as we do.
It's like if they could do it, they could run it, since it was a county project,
It's on their property too.
it's on their property.
Well, we're at a crossroads. I mean, if it's possible to wait 2 weeks, we will. I mean, it's not something that just come up last week. Now, if we'd known about this sooner, we may have put, but this just come up just a few days ago. And when they started having to make some purchases, the folks making purchases for some brick, different work to be done, would be, if we were tax exempt, they could make the donation to the city write the check. They make the tax donation to the Aggie Plaza, they give the money, us the money, then we write the check. It's not costing us anything. It's costing us some time and paperwork. But it's not costing the city any money. So,
Well, I want to go on record that I'm in favor of it. Scott has said that we can legally do it. I see no problem with it. And I feel like that we have to show the spirit of having faith in them and working with them when Brogel and Brenda and these others that are working toward this and getting these funds in to do this and enhance our community. I don't want to hold them up, but, you know, that's my thoughts on it. If I thought that there was any way that would jeopardize the city, I would absolutely have already spoken against it. But we have done this before in the past, and if it will save them tax purchasing and all of this, and Tammy's got a point with going back, but I don't know, perhaps until this point that we've done this, make it legal for us for them to use our tax number, is that they can maybe, even though that's what's said in the brochure, they can go back and do anything in regards to that. I think we can come to an understanding with that. I think it's something that can be worked out, so personally, I'm in support of it. Do I need to make that a motion, or do
Greg,
you want to
TJ?
just put it off?
I don't have a problem. I'm ready to vote on it.
whatever.
What was discussed on work session, like I said, that's hard for me to get these work
Scott, can you
sessions.
explain it maybe better than I can, because you're more familiar with the tax laws and the tax exemptions and the 501 status that Aggie Plaza does not have?
Right, from my understanding with the Aggie Plaza, they're incorporated as a nonprofit under state law, but they haven't applied for their federal tax exempt status, or they haven't received their federal tax exempt status, which is a 501c3, which is what I think that they would be qualified under. And so people making donations to them would not get the tax benefit. If they come through the city and the donations are made to the city, then someone may be able to get deductions for that. Plus they might be able to save on purchases as far as having to pay the sales taxes. What would happen is the city would have to basically take in the donation, put it in a separate account, and use that money strictly for Aggie Plaza. The way we can do that is y'all have to find that there's a public purpose behind this, that y'all deem that this is a suitable public purpose for the city to be involved and for the city to expend money. Because once people give money to the city, it's now the city's money, the taxpayers' money, so y'all have to use that for the public good. I think with the circumstances of being, it's on public property, all this property will be on Board of Education property, some will be on our sidewalks. It is an extension of our revitalization project. I think there's significant reasons for it to be a public purpose, but y'all have to define that and be able to do it.
But our people will be doing the work,
Basically, it would be,
Dan
our staff
or
would be-
somebody gonna
Jan
have,
Rainey here.
gonna have to be doing this work here.
And my concern is that the donations that have been received up until this point, is there any misconception, as far as it being tax exempt under the city number?
Yeah, I see your point on
But when they start purchasing, they're ready to make purchases now, and without the 501, or without using our tax ID number, their purchases are going to be a lot higher than they had the tax to.
that. Well, I thought Brayville, when they was down there, I thought they done had that worked out.
They thought, but they don't have it.
I think there's probably a misunderstanding
They want us to.
what they had and what they needed.
But the concern about somebody making donations previous to this point tonight would be not really our concern as far as the city goes.
That's not our
It's
responsibility.
not,
It's not our responsibility.
no.
Okay.
The way I see it, it isn't.
So they're not under the impression,
I don't
To
know.
your knowledge,
I don't know what they're under the impression of, I'm just
Right.
saying from our.
right.
From
our
our
standpoint,
perspective.
Yeah, I don't know what they're understanding.
Looks to me like it'd be just as easy to go through the Marion County and it would be here. I mean, I don't see no difference in it. Do you?
Well, it is sort of a
Our
city
property.
project too. It is, but
I mean,
it's the city of Hamilton, and we're gonna be doing some in-kind work there also.
But I'm understanding that this is only concerning future donations anyway. The past donations are a separate thing, but this is only for future donations.
Well, see, that's my question. I want to know, do they understand that it's from this point forward, or do they think that it's going to take in the previous 9 months?
Well, it shouldn't, would it matter? If it's for future donations, it wouldn't.
Don't matter to me.
Yeah, what difference would it make?
You know, well, you need a motion.
Yeah.
I-
You wanna
I'll-
do it?
Yeah, I'll make a motion, that we open up this, checking account for the Hamilton Aggie Plaza using the city's tax number, and that be null and void once this is, finalized.
Okay. Do we have a second?
I'll say.
Is that agreed?
Yeah.
Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nay.
nay.
Okay. All right, let's see. Number 4, recommendation to approve health service contract between the City of Hamilton and QCHC Incorporated. We talked about this in our work session just a second ago. And Chief Bickley, would you explain this just a little bit? This is a contract with Dr. Bates Company when we have an inmate that happens to be incarcerated. And they give them the medication instead of us, if there is medication to be given for health care.
Yes, sir, we take care of their daily medications while they're incarcerated by the city, not a county employee, and it would be exclusively to city inmates. The price set forth in the contract, as you asked earlier, is for either one inmate or a dozen inmates per month, regardless of how many we have in there. They're provided with their medication daily, they're provided with their assessments as they come in, health assessments. They will see them on a need-to basis. They can fill out a request form to see the doctor. The doctor comes through once a week. I believe it would be a good plan for us and for the city as far as liability purposes and taking care of us. Plus, it would alleviate tying up manpower. Anytime that you go down and take one to the doctor, then it's going to take up 2 or 3 hours going to the emergency room. When we take one off the streets, he's tied up there with him. Also, the daily medications that have to be administered, our officers are not nurses and doctors and stuff, so they don't really know what they're giving when they do give daily medications sometimes. We go by what's on the bottle and what the prescription of the family says. The medications, daily medications now for our inmates down there would be held here at the jail. If we have one that's in the jail down there, we'd have to take daily medications from here down there every how many times a day that they have to have it, and we would have to administer it to our inmates down there. Whereas this contract would alleviate any of that. There's a nurse on staff 5 days a week, and they're on call at nights and weekends to come up and assess whatever kind of problem, short of emergency, going to the emergency room, a bona fide emergency. If it's cut, scrapes, headaches, upset stomach, stuff of that nature, they assess it and take care of it on site.
Instead of us having to pick them up and take them to a doctor.
Yes, sir. Ron, is this not what we've been paying?
No, sir, we haven't been paying anything.
Don't we pay the county so much to keep our prisoners?
No, sir.
We don't pay them nothing?
No, sir. I mean, we pay a lockup fee, and we pay the so much per day.
That's what I'm saying, is that not covered, is this not covered in that?
No, sir.
This doesn't cover that.
That's just lockup. That's just lockup and food purposes. It don't have anything to do with health and medications.
Anybody else got any questions for Chief Bickley? Okay. Is there a recommendation to approve this contract between the City of Hamilton and QCHC Incorporated.
Is this Dr. Bates, you said?
Yes, sir. It is.
I'll make a motion.
Okay. Thank you, Tim. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Tammy, thank you. Any other discussion on this contract? All in favor, say aye. Thank you. Number 5 is a recommendation to purchase bush hog from Hampton Tractor. Let's postpone that until we get more information. Number 6 is a recommendation to fill in the swimming pool at the rec center. The reason for this is, as I explained in the work session a while ago, the city has an insurance assessment with each building, and they make recommendations. And one of the recommendations for the rec center is to fill the pool in if we're not going to use it. As you know, the pool has not been used in over 2 or 3 years now, and it's a liability. Someone would have to jump the fence to get into it, but it's always a possibility. It's also a mosquito den in the summertime. So if we're not going to use the pool, if we're not going to repair it, my plan is we have bigger and better plans for a swimming pool. It doesn't include repairing this. And the recommendation would be to fill it in because that's what the insurance company recommends if we're not going to fix it. So we can discuss it some more. And first I'd like to have a motion to fill it in, and then we'll have a second, and then we'll discuss it some more before we vote. So is there a recommendation to fill in the swimming pool?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, Greg. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Lynn. Before we vote on this, does any of y'all have any thoughts on it? I know a few years ago there was over $40,000 spent on the pool, and it may have worked for a while, but it still leaked, notoriously leaked, and it just hadn't been used. You know, our kids deserve a pool. I'm not against a pool, and I hope to goodness we get one and get a nice one. But I don't think this one, I think this one has seen the best life that we could have. It's been there since the building was built. It's about 40 years old, and it's just not worth fixing, to be honest with you.
Are we going to do this work, or is this something that will be?
We can do it.
Okay.
We can take some of the fence down and back up and fill it up ourselves. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Skip number 7. Number 8 is a recommendation to purchase brick for the Hampton Recreation Center from Southern Athletics. This is actually crushed brick that we use on our infields each and every year. It's the red crushed brick they use. Lynn, you might explain this more than me, or you, Greg, because y'all familiar with this baseball, what they use it for, but we buy a one-time purchase a year.
It's just for field maintenance.
And it's used, this one-time purchase will last all summer.
Right.
We don't have to buy it once a year.
Right.
Okay. Is there a motion to do that?
I'll make a motion.
Okay. Lynn, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, Frank, any other discussion on this purchase? All in favor, say aye. Number 9, we had Jim Eichelberg from AJ Health, and they were going to come speak to us tonight about the incentives that the city gave them several months ago when they started revitalizing the shopping center. But due to weather and things happened, they weren't able to fly in today. They will be back at our next meeting. They really, really appreciate the city doing that. It's helped them get their project started, and they just wanted to actually just come and brag on Hampton for a little bit. But since they couldn't fly in because of the weather, they will come back at a different time. And at this time, I'd like to ask Mr. Bill Loden if he would talk to us about the LDOT program, and also have Chief Tim Ryan with us tonight. And this is something that's going statewide, isn't it, Bill? And several cities have already done it in counties.
May I turn this around?
Yes, sir. Let me get you a mic right here, because that mic don't
This is
work.
all right, I think I'm talking
You don't need a mic? Okay.
about. Mr. Mayor, council, and guests, this is one of the programs that has come to us. In the past, the 911 has been the major thing for fire service and emergency service in Marion County. It's the best thing ever happened to our services. And this, I think, is going to come up with it. The purpose of this thing, well, the state of Alabama is sponsoring the program and furnishes the majority of the stuff. They furnish 3 cameras, these folders, and a lot of the literature. We'll have to copy some of the literature. But I'll just read this one right here. The information contained in this folder is for first responders' use in case of emergency or other medical emergency to assist EMS, law enforcement, fire, rescue during the golden hour, disregarding the information enclosed if the person needs assistance. It is not the same person as indicated on the photograph. People need to be treated within an hour after a major accident. It's called the golden hour. And medication is one thing that emergency people need in the emergency room because they might give the wrong thing. And this folder with the contents of it spells out everything they need. It has your information, address, next of kin, doctors, hospital, and it has a place for a photograph to where they can identify you by the photograph. Also, it has your medical record of what you're being treated for and the medicine you're taking. And if you're allergic to something. So to me, this is very important. A lot of times you work wrecks with one individual in the vehicle. And it might take a while to get next of kin, to give them the information they need. So it's a quick thing. The vehicle is identified by a yellow dot placed on the back window of your vehicle. And emergency services will know about this, ambulance, law enforcement, fire, rescue. They'll know to get this for the emergency people, for the ambulance people to carry with them. So, I'm gonna pass mine around and just feel free to take it out and look at it.
I've got one in my office. These are, Bill and I has talked about this a couple of times in several counties.
Yeah.
It's statewide, and several in our counties are already doing this.
They're hoping to have it statewide this year.
Bill, what do they do? You and Tim come and explain. We have a camera system set up at the fire station. Somebody comes and gets their picture made. They get it on this piece of paper.
Right,
Fill out all your medical information.
that's right.
Put the dot on the back of your car window. And
Yeah.
if something were to happen, an emergency, a wreck or something like that, the first
Right.
responders would know
That's right.
that this information is in there. And the biggest thing we would need to do is promote this heavily to get folks to come and participate in it.
Right, right,
Because it doesn't cost anything.
right. That's
What
right.
will we be out?
Nothing, I mean, we've got the camera and everything.
So you have the camera.
Might have to be out some copy paper, that'd be it to me.
The state will furnish 3 cameras for the county.
Okay.
So, Hamilton has a camera, Bear Creek has a camera. So that gives 3 for the rest of the county. And some of the other departments may have cameras too, I don't know. But, we feel like probably we need it to where somebody's there most of the time, which biggest part of our departments are not there, but they will promote it. And
So folks all over, even outside of Hamilton, like Shotsville, Shiloh,
Yeah.
Pea Ridge, they can come to Hamilton, get
Yeah.
get the same information,
Right.
photos made, doesn't cost anything. Y'all help them fill it out,
Yeah,
everything they
we'll do
need.
everything.
Or if they're having a supper or something out there, they could pick up the county camera, one of the
Take it to
cameras, and take it out
volunteer
there and set
department.
it up and promote it at their suppers.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
And
Fundraisers, this for anybody, any
Yeah,
citizen.
and you could add to this in here, like no resuscitation and stuff like that. You could add.
Your wish is on that form.
Yeah, you could add that to it. And matter of fact, it would be good if a person had them filled out in their home. Because
Yeah, wouldn't be bad.
now, I don't know what my wife takes in medicine, you know?
Right.
Or
If you had
wrote down-
if you had a medical card at your house, you could still have that,
Yeah.
probably, if you needed it.
Yeah. Well,
Is that what you're saying?
yeah, these plastic form, binders there, if there's two that rides in the car, you get 2 folders,
So keep them in the glove box.
glove box.
Yeah, you do
If you've
one
got
for
4
every
vehicles,
family member.
you get 2 for each vehicle, you know?
So each folder is for one person.
Yeah.
So if you needed 2 or 3, you could put
Right.
those in,
Yeah,
however how many might be in the car. at the
Right.
time,
right.
Or in the family. Y'all have any questions? Tim, what do you think about
We've
this?
been talking about it.
Tammy and I have talked about this, we've been going through this for 2,
It's,
3 months. I know
it's
Tammy
a
before.
wonderful program, and, I talked up at the TV station one day, I have an envelope in my car over my sun visor. It says emergency information, it's clipped on there, so if
Right.
anything happens, whoever opens the car door is gonna see it. It has a picture of me and my 3 boys, our names, our ages inside the envelope. It has all of our medical information, it has, most recent lab work, every ailment that we have, so I think this is just a wonderful program. I'm all for it. When you want us to come have a picture?
That's what I want to hear.
Tomorrow, you can come tomorrow, okay.
I talked to the hospital administrator, and he likes the program. And I talked to my doctor, Dr. Kerr, and he's on board with the information too. So, what we're gonna have to do is work a little bit more with the other towns,
Okay,
and I may have to go and, talk with them some.
okay.
But if that be the case, then I will.
If
Or
it would
any
help-
organization.
Well, you and I have talked about this, and we've had a lot going on the last few weeks, but if it would have, we could have a fire department meeting here with other departments, volunteer departments and countywide departments, and just let you explain it to them all at one time, unless you'd rather go to each council member, each city council.
Well, it would be better if we could have.
Or even get the commissioners involved,
Yeah,
and,
they
just
need
have
to
a-
be, police chiefs,
Yeah,
I haven't talked to the chief about this program.
so the officers and
And then,
first responders be aware of what we're doing.
right, then he could pass it on to his personnel.
Correct. Brian?
I believe Hackleburg is trying to get on
Hackleburg is
with
already-
this, and Winfield is trying to get on this. If I'm not mistaken, this program is also endorsed by the Alabama Sheriff's Association and the Chief of Police Association.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Bear Creek is already,
Hackleburg's already started.
oh, yeah.
They were gonna vote on it tonight, actually, and I think they canceled the meeting, but yes, they're,
I think Franklin County and Winston County have already started their program.
Hagel's had a lot of success.
Havel has had quite a bit.
This is where, this came from Winston County.
And this is done in a number of states. This is just our state
Oh, really?
program. Yeah, this is done in other states.
Would y'all like to make a recommendation to go ahead and start this program, get it started tonight? I mean, it's on the agenda, we don't have anything about recommending, but if we're all for it, I don't see no reason why we can't just get it started, implementing it after tonight.
What do you think,
I
Tim?
mean, we can get the information.
We can do that. We've got the information
Okay,
and the person to call
okay.
but when she comes, we would need to set up a meeting.
Well, would it be better to do it the first week in April, or 2 weeks from tonight? Since we're all aware of it now, or?
We would
What's
have
your
to,
thoughts?
we would have to contact her and see when she'd be available.
So we can't vote on it tonight to do it and then set up.
I would think that we can vote on it tonight, but we can go ahead.
But
Yeah.
what,
We could go ahead and vote on it
Yeah,
tonight,
it's
it's
set
still,
up later.
right. There's no reason why we can't vote.
we
on it.
just covered your support.
Yes,
and-
sir.
And I feel like,
You got it.
you'd go for it without me coming, but I felt like.
Well, we would, but I'm glad you come to explain it, because you and I have had several discussions about it.
First, I'd heard about it, I hadn't heard about it.
But,
Yeah, yeah. Well.
It's a good program, and it's
Chief
a
from
save.
Hagleville brought it to our fire association, and every fire department in the county is for it,
Right.
100%. And that's, of course, I was for it when he explained it to us, and everybody else is the same way.
It saves one life.
Absolutely. If it saves one life, it'd be worth it.
Thank you. Thank you. So we have a motion to approve this program, and as time goes, we'll make, whatever meeting we need to have to set it up. I don't see no reason why we can't go ahead and approve it.
Okay.
To get it started.
I'll make that motion.
Okay, Tam, is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Lynn. Is there any other discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bill, appreciate it. Number 11 was a swearing-in ceremony for police officers, Antoine Cobb and Derek Zills, but Ronnie says they got their feet wet today with all the storms, and they're too nasty to come, so we're going to do that at the first meeting. They're getting broke in right, and they're doing a great job already, but
They may still be on site.
they may be still having with the debris and traffic and things like that, so they will be at the next meeting, unfortunately, couldn't come tonight. Is anything else anybody has?
Thanks.
Wayne, I wanted to ask about this, talked to you a little bit about the other day, but this recreation center account, that the deposit is $63,000, where does that actually come from?
Tim, my understanding is this comes from when they take money in at the rec for fees.
Me could probably tell.
Just any money they take in over there is deposited into that account.
Right, one time, I remember we brought that back over here to City Hall, is that not going to the general fund?
I don't think so.
Well, at one time we did bring something back to the general fund, but it was at that time it was a 5-cent tobacco tax. It was assessed just for the rec center, and then the mayor and council voted not put it in general fund, and not put it to the rec like we had it. So that was one way we were going to fund the new water park, and it got defunct. But but since we've always had that rec center fund, it's always been that way.
Like the light bills, is it paid out of this?
No. We did use that money most of that money to pay for the new awning out in front of the building. We took quite a bit out of the rec fund instead of purchasing equipment and things like that. We used it to fix that building. Took quite a bit of it out of there for that instead of taking out the general fund. But I can find out more specifics.
But it's like
Tomorrow,
this
please.
163,000, 166 or whatever we paid for a while ago. I mean, all other departments can't make money.
Right.
Looks like every bit we make needs to go to the general fund to
Well, always in the
try
past,
to help him.
I know, always in the past, the rec center didn't have some kind of fund and never would get anything. Because they've never been funded like they should be. That's why our rec center's in the shape it is. But we have used it to make repairs, we have used it to fix lights at the rec, we sure have. We have used it to purchase equipment, from time to time.
But their uniforms or the light bill for the ball fields, nothing like that.
I don't think so. I know we've used it to make light repairs, but
Lawnmowers, do they come out of that?
we have purchased lawnmowers, equipment out of there, sure have.
And you said, Scott, you had to give us some paperwork the other day on this alcohol tax. And I don't know, you made, on this RDS, is this just the alcohol or just the beer and wine all together? Is this just,
I don't know what I've seen.
I just wondered what, if it was all together.
I think it's everything all together, Tim. Like I said, I have to ask GNC. It's been averaging about 8,000 to 10,000 a month. I'll be glad to find that out for you too.
I'd call him, but I just wanted to know the different tax on
Yes, sir, there is.
beer, wine,
I think
and
it
all
is
liquor, and I,
calculated separate, but I think that's combined, to be honest with you, but I'm not 100% sure. Anything else, John?
is there, can you just give us a general idea of what you've heard about the damage? I know there's so much around, but maybe what you're hearing is,
Chief Yeager, can you tell us, there's some damage, about the tree damage to buildings, anything you can give us an update on?
Yes, sir. The preliminary reports and everything that we have available right now, is we have a couple of trees between the Mungenwire red light and the hospital. We had several poles and several trees to blow down that were the entire length across the highway. I think there was an ACOG bus that had gotten rear end damage on it. We had one car crushed down there. I thought most of the injuries were minor at this particular time. Then we've lost a roof off top of Landmark Church. Quite a few pine trees, tall pines and stuff that were blown down back across that track, back toward Landmark, between here and Landmark. Some damage down here around Jim Davis's house, straight line wind damage, stuff of this nature. I don't know if power's back on the south end of town. The damage or debris area and stuff should be getting somewhere concluded, cleaned up. As far as the utilities and stuff being reinstalled or reestablished, we don't have a timeline on that.
traffic, is it flowing again?
Traffic should be flowing again, possibly within an hour.
Yeah, it should be. It wasn't when I come over here. It was still down.
It's only been on Military Street, well, Military Street was blocked off, I think, National.
Well, we had Military National, we had County Road 42 that had a tree across it. You know, some of the rescue crews and stuff were able to take chainsaws and free those up. So most of the state crews and the fire companies and telephone companies and the other fire crews and stuff were able to concentrate on the heavy debris area in this particular area on Military.
Seemed like it started out around, out behind Taylor 66, right in there. From there all the way to past 42, even on Wood Creek Road out there. They had some damage out there. I think the barn roof got blown off. One
Tim, do you know of any injuries, medical costs?
Minor. We had one, a mobile home got a tree right in the middle of it, and they took them to the hospital, but I think they were minor.
Have they been all scattered all around town, or has it just been one concentrated?
No, it was just seemed like from Steel Street to Woods Creek, and it was all in that one, seemed like in that one path there.
The damage. What
I
about
think the first Baptist here lost an awning.
Well, we lost.
You guys lost a roof.
South Net lost a tower, antenna tower,
The sheriff's department lost a tower.
I lost siding,
siding.
patio table, just glass everywhere, you know. And there's some pretty big trees over down in our neighborhood, especially on to the back of my house there.
Judge
Yeah,
Castle had trees down.
Several
Yeah,
there,
Judge Cash.
several cars got damaged.
There's a tree on Briarwood Avenue if nobody's gotten it yet. They got one, but this one's around the curve and up a hill.
The water
They
department.
were waiting on the utility
The
department.
building that the water department run across from North River has got damage too. Blowed one of the big garage doors completely out. Busted the back of Rodney Williams' glass in his pickup and exploded. Knocked the fence down there at the water plant, not the water plant, but the water building down by North River. So there's several buildings, several stuff damaged down there in some of the city. I don't know of any other city buildings damaged besides that one, but there could be some more. They notice some tomorrow. But nothing at the water plant, nothing at the water sewer plant was damaged.
The crews were built together today.
Yes, sir.
So it should be.
Worked very well together.
Appreciate all you've done today.
And Ronnie said the new guys got really good. Or they would have been here tonight. Y'all have anything else? Is there a motion to adjourn? Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.